What is going on, my broskiis? My name is Toadski and I'm back again, here to bring you guys yet another One Piece Treasure Cruise video. In today's video, we're going to be going through all stages of Neo COLISEUM Killer. So this does include the shooter, slasher, and fighter versions, as well as the zero stamina challenge difficulty versions. Now, before we actually get into that, we are going to be going ahead and breaking down this actual unit itself. And also, just to state, these are just the teams that I used in order to beat the content. These specific teams are not obviously built for every single person. However, these are just the teams that I used in order to beat the content. So hopefully you guys can still learn something along the way, and I hope you guys do go on to enjoy the video. And if you guys do enjoy it, make sure to smack the like button down below. But without further ado, let's get into today's video. So let's go ahead and break down the brand new Neo COLISEUM Killer. This unit is a quick striker slasher type character. The previous version was a dex striker slasher, so no changes with the classes. However, instead of being a dex unit, he is now a quick unit. Now, moving on straight away, there is a massive difference. He gains an additional socket spot compared to his original version. The previous one had 3, this one now has 4, and there are some minor tweaks to the statistics of this character, but they aren't very noticeable, like literally just minor changes to the stats. The cooldown is the exact same, they both will max at 8 turns. The captain ability is the exact same as the previous version, boosts striker and slasher characters' attack by 2.75 when you have matching orbs, and then 2 times attack otherwise, and your cruise recovery is set to 0. Now, the special ability actually has a minor change in comparison to the original dex version. This version will go ahead and change striker and slasher characters' strength, dex, and quick orbs into matching, and then cut the HP of one enemy by 8%. Now, the big differences here is that he actually changes an additional orb this time. I believe last time he only changed strength and dex, but now he will change strength, dex, and quick. So he actually will change an additional orb into matching, and he also will cut the HP of an enemy by 8% instead of 7%. So there isn't really much difference there with the health cut, but gaining an additional orb that can be transferred into a matching orb on your strikers and slashers, that is actually pretty awesome. And one thing else to note about this character, guys, is that this character is likely to be a trusty character, if not stated already, but likely to be a trusty character in the upcoming treasure map Gear 4. So make sure you at least grab one copy so you can get your hands on a point booster unit for the upcoming treasure map. So now let's go ahead and talk about the different stages of Neo COLISEUM Killer. The first one that we're going to be talking about is the shooter variation of Neo Killer, where I finally get to use V2 Boa Hancock, which I pulled recently, and I've got to say that she is so fun to use. Great legend to use. But actually, let's talk about the dungeon, okay? So between stages 1 and 3, to my knowledge, are the exact same as the regular COLISEUM Killer. However, there will be, or there might be, certain variations between each of these variations for the final room and also with Kid himself. For the version of the shooters against the stage 4 Kid has 2.29 million health, and he'll attack every turn for about 4,300 damage. Now, the preemptive attack of stage 4 Kid will go ahead and apply a 2-hit perfect barrier, and also he'll have a 4-turn resilience buff as well. He will not be able to be delayed for 4 turns, and he also will increase his attack by, he increases your cruise attack by 2 times for 99 turns. So this means that you don't actually need to bring any type booster whatsoever, and I actually do like the fact that they give shooters a type boosting by themselves, because shooters are pretty bad overall. So I guess that they kind of realize that shooters are bad and they give them a buff here, which is quite nice. One thing to note as well, after the first turn, Kid changes all your orbs into negative. So this is where V2 Boa, even as a friend captain, is going to be very useful for that. Also, under 30%, he does 10,000 damage and then transforms all your orbs into either recovery, tandem, etc. So you got to be careful about that. So now we move on to stage 5, which is going to be against Killer. Killer will attack every single turn for 6,000 damage, and he has 3.1 million health. When you actually enter the room, he'll transform all your orbs randomly, so make sure bringing someone like COLISEUM Riser, especially if you are using V2 Boa, that will help you get some more matching orbs. Now, he actually doesn't do anything under any health threshold, but when you defeat him, he will recover 10% of his health, equaling up to 310,000. He has a delayed disabler for 1 turn, he has a 99 hit barrier for 1 turn, and he'll also go ahead and reduce your attack for 3 turns significantly. So bringing someone like the Poison, I use Magellan here. If you don't have this Magellan, you can use the Raid Magellan. It'll just take a little longer. Or if you have a limited rare recruit Burundi World, he is fantastic. You can just use his special on the revive and it will instantly kill Killer. So that is the way that you guys can go ahead and beat Neo Coliseum Killer, the shooter variation. So now we're going to talk about the slasher version of Neo Coliseum Killer. On stage 4 of the slasher variation, we have Kid. Kid has 2.29 million health and he'll attack every turn for 4,300 damage. His preemptive attack will go ahead and give you a small orb and attack boost for 99 turns. So you have to bring someone that can remove that so you can apply your own orb and attack boost, which is why I'm using Treasure Mode Cavendish. He's very, very good here because he does remove all positive buffs on your team as well as applying certain buffs as well. Kid also has a 1-turn good barrier, and also he will have a resilience buff and a delay protector for 4 turns. And after the first turn of attacks, Kid will transform all your orbs into negative orbs. So this is where Treasure Map Cavendish is amazing because he removes all the debuffs and he also turns negative orbs into positive orbs, as well as giving your driven characters an orb and attack boost, giving you enough damage to actually take down Kid. In my specific example here, I'm using Kizaru to go ahead and kill Kid once you get him to low health, so you can go ahead and break through that resilience debuff. Now we move on to stage 5, which is going to be Killer. Now for Killer, he has 3.1 million health and he attacks every turn for 6,000 damage. So Killer's preemptive attack will apply a rainbow damage reduction shield for 3 turns. He will then also change all of your crew's orbs into either negative, block, recovery, or tandem orbs, and he does not do anything under any other health threshold. However, once you actually take down Killer, he will revive with 930,000 health. He will go ahead and transform all your orbs into negative. He will make it so you can only use 1 special per turn for 2 turns. He will despair you for 3 turns. He has a good barrier for 2 turns, and he paralyzes your crew for 2 turns. So there are so many different debuffs that he actually does when he revives. You see in this situation here, the Sizor is amazing. He gets rid of the, I believe it's the despair and the paralysis, and he also gives you a type boost. He gives you some matching orbs. So this Sizor is extremely useful for this fight. So anyways guys, that is it for the slasher version, and I'll see you guys on the last version of Neo Coliseum Killer. And now we move on to the fighter version of Neo Coliseum Killer. On this variation, stage 4 once again is going to be Eustace Kid. He has 2.29 million health and he attacks every turn for 4,300 damage. This time, his preemptive attack will go ahead and apply a 2-hit perfect barrier for 99 turns. He also has the 4-turn resilience buff and a 4-turn delay protector as usual. Also, like usual, after the first attack, all your orbs will be converted into negative orbs. However, every single turn after that, he will continuously transform your orbs into blue orbs. So this is where a Lucy captain or a Lucy friend captain is going to be very, very useful for your team, as Lucy will treat quick orbs beneficial to the 3 types that he actually boosts. So having Lucy and then running a full Strength Dex quick team is going to be very, very good for this. You always get matching orbs every single turn when Kid is attacking. So yeah, this is really, really good for this. Lucy is going to be amazing for this fight. Kid also does the exact same thing. He also does under 30%, 10,000 damage. He transforms all your orbs into bad things, so don't get him under 30% unless if you are planning to use a special to kill him off through his resilience barrier. Once Kid is taken down, we move on to stage 5, which is going to be Killer. Killer has 5.1 million health, and he'll attack every turn for 6,000 damage. His preemptive attack will go ahead and make all your slots empty. He will halve your chain multiplier, and he'll also go ahead and cut your health in half. So this is where bringing a chain locker is going to be very, very useful for this fight. He doesn't do anything below any health threshold, 50, 20%, anything. He does not do anything under any health threshold. When you eventually knock out Killer, what he'll do, he's actually going to recover with 399,000 health, and he'll transform all your orbs into strength orbs, and he'll go ahead and give you a 5-turn, 95% attack down debuff. This is where Invasion Garp is extremely useful, as you can just use his special on the revive and it will 100% kill Killer. And that is the fighter version of Neo COLISEUM Killer. Now that we've gone through each of these 3 variations, let's move on to the 0 stamina challenge difficulty. So now we move on to the 0 stamina version of Neo COLISEUM Killer, being the challenge difficulty. So this is extremely difficult. I tried for over an hour trying to build a legitimate team that can beat this properly without having to zombie it. I literally couldn't come up with anything, because in certain parts of the dungeon, certain bad things happen, like slashers and striker characters will get paralyzed for 30 turns in the dungeon. Also, at a certain period, free spirit characters will be special silenced, and it's just extremely annoying, especially because this specific dungeon is more fighter centric. They do want you to use fighter type teams, because on stage 1, you can see that all your fighter characters will have their cooldowns increased up to max special. So having fighter characters is going to be extremely useful for this fight, and I really just couldn't come up with an actual team for this. This team in particular I did not create on my own. This team was actually created initially by someone called Raccoon TV. The link to the original video will be in the description down below, and if you guys want to see a full in-depth tutorial on how this actually is completed, also check the description down below. In the description, this will detail you exactly what specials need to be activated and how much store you need to specifically do in each specific stage. So if you guys want to just read it and use this team, it is extremely easy to use if you just follow the steps in the description down below. So make sure you guys go ahead and check that out if you guys are struggling with this. Honestly, this is the fastest zombie team I have seen thus far to complete this specific island. I timed this specific run. This took about 18, 19, 20 minutes to beat with this zombie team. There are other zombie teams, ones with NL friend captains, one with buggy friend captains. Those ones take a lot longer to beat. This one was actually reasonably quickly. So if you guys want to use a reasonably fast zombie team, this is the one that I would suggest to you guys. So anyways, I'm going to leave you with this 0 stamina clip at the end here. Hopefully you guys did enjoy this video, and if you guys did enjoy it, make sure to smack the like button down below. And if you want to stay up to date with all of the content I post on my channel, including more One Piece Treasure Cruise content, make sure to hit the subscribe button down below. But other than that, guys, I will see you guys within the next video.